Spoilers for Fnaf 2, go watch it or don't, but you've been warned.
Hello Internet, welcome to Game Film Theory. I'm your host, Matty Patty with the Fatty, and in this video, I'm gonna predict where movie 3 is gonna lead to.
I saw the Fnaf 2 movie a couple days ago, and despite it being a little trash...
Hey Mike, on your left.
The ending left us with a major couple of cliffhangers. Vanessa was possessed by Charlotte, SpringTrap has been set loose without the spirit of the children watching him, and Mike Afton just left, he just ran away. Oh yeah, Henry Emily also left a voice message to Mike at the end of the movie, revealing very valid and important information at the very end of the movie. I can see why this movie has an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Hey Mike, it's me, Henry Emily. I'm telling you this now, at the end of your adventure, but I was actually the co-founder. I knew William Afton this whole time. I didn't think this was important to tell you before, Mike. You know, before your adventure. But I want to tell you now in this voice message at 3 a.m., Mike. This movie left me with a lot of questions, mainly about where this next movie is going to lead to. Or what about Circus Baby, who appears in Vanessa's dream? Or even if the next movie can actually be good. So, let's talk about it, because it's my channel. What are you gonna do about it? Vanessa was an interesting character in this movie. She's clearly suffering from a lot of trauma. She pulled a gun out on an innocent man. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Vanessa, if we're gonna be honest. But when it comes to talking about Vanessa, what I truly wonder the most about, especially after coming out of this movie, is what's up with Circus Baby? Let's talk about the game lore for a second here. Hey, we're switching to Game Theory! In the games, Circus Baby was possessed by William Afton's daughter, Elizabeth Afton. It was a total freak accident, but it happened regardless. In the games, we know that William has 2 sons and a daughter. The daughter and one of the sons died when they were both children, with Mike being the only one who survived childhood. I gotta wonder, in the movie's case, what's the family situation like here? Okay, look, we now know of Mike Afton because of this movie, and he clearly knows about what his father has done and plans to continue the murdering. We know of Vanessa, clearly from the first movie, but are there any more kids involved? If the other son is involved in the movieverse, I suppose it would make sense we don't see him because he did die as a kid, you know, in the games. Maybe the next movie might get into Mike Afton's backstory, as we can learn about what happened to the other son of the family, and you know, see those events play out. This event is very iconic to Fnaf fans.
Was that the bite of 87?
So I would be genuinely surprised if they didn't try to recreate it at some point in these Fnaf movies. Enough of this guy. Well, we'll talk about him later. Let's go back to Vanessa. Vanessa is an interesting character. In the games, William's daughter of course died as a kid, like I mentioned. So, what is William's daughter doing here alive and in adulthood? Especially now that we know Circus Baby is a thing in these movies as well. If I recall, Circus Baby gets green eyes once she's possessed. And in the movie, in Vanessa's dreams, her eyes were already green. Alright, I gotta really channel in my inner MatPat. Let's craft a theory. I don't believe that Vanessa has secretly been a robot this whole time and that she secretly died as a child in Circus Baby. No. I mean, I guess these movies have the whole thing of Vanessa keeping a lot of secrets. That would be like a major secret, you know. Mike would be like, he would pull another rally clip on Vanessa again like in this movie.
Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
But no, I don't think she's a robot or a secret robot human clone. I know this series deals a lot with that. I know in the books they deal with realistic human robot clones, especially with Charlotte and Henry Emily. But in the first movie, Vanessa literally got stabbed. She bled. She had to go to the hospital. There's no way she's a robot. If it turns out that she is a robot, nah, that's just bad writing. Clear the table. This is what I'm proposing. Maybe, in this universe, there isn't just one daughter, like in the games. Maybe there was 2. Maybe in this movie universe, there's Mike, Vanessa, the crying child, and Elizabeth Afton. Maybe Vanessa was really close to Elizabeth, but the events from the game played out the same in terms of Elizabeth being killed by Baby, and getting possessed as well. Maybe that's why, Vanessa has nightmares specifically of Baby out of all the animatronics. In that dream scene, Circus Baby was the most detailed animatronic out of all of them. We don't even see Freddy Fazbear or something. So clearly Vanessa has some deep trauma with Baby the most. I'm interested in knowing what lore there will be with Baby in these movies, since she had a small but very impactful cameo in this film. But I fear these questions will not be answered in this next movie, but probably a fourth one. Mike has to go find Abby. He has to go find his sister's location. Look, I know we were talking about Mike Afton before, and let's circle back because I want to talk about him even more. Now, Mike Afton, this guy's an interesting man. In the games, I really can't tell for sure if he's supposed to be a hero or a villain. The games never explicitly say. Adult Mike, maybe, we don't know. But Kid Mike, yeah, let's just be honest, that guy was a villain. Oh my god, he killed his brother. That was no accident, that guy's a villain. I guess if we're gonna get into headcanon territory, I guess I always thought he was a good guy, Maybe as an adult he was just trying to put a stop to William forever, but nope, I guess in the movie he just wants to be like his dad. Still, regardless if he's a hero or not, by the end of his life he did do some good, to atone for his mistakes and his father's actions. He helped send everyone's soul to rest, along with the help of Henry. I wonder if the movies will follow this type of plot as well. Maybe Mike Schmidt will be phased out to have Mike Afton be more of a lead. Maybe after learning about Circus Baby he has a change of heart and wants to stop his father instead of being like him. Or he'll just keep pulling this face and kill everyone just because he feels it. He's so edgy, even Infinite over there is jealous. But yeah, maybe I can see him having some sort of atonement arc. I don't know about redemption since he tried to kill children, but maybe he might atone for his sins or something. That could be like a future movie plot after the sister location movie. I think it's fair to say these movies have been following game release order. So, while Fnaf 1 was based on the first game, Fnaf 2 was based on the second, this third one's obviously going to be based on the third game. With some book lore sprinkled in. I know these movies have been mixing up stuff with book lore as well. Also, I'm going to rant about this and you guys are going to listen like good little audience members. I know the ending of this movie also happened in the book, and I think the ending was trash. And just because something happened in the book does not mean it was good there either. I'm just saying my piece.
No, SpongeBob, I don't think it was a good scene to have Freddy Fazbear and his Faz gang join up Avengers style and take out the toy animatronics.
It's fair to say FNAF 3 will be based on the game FNAF 3, especially with the end credits showing SpringTrap. William's suit is now more decrepit, it's broken down, it looks more like SpringTrap than the Yellow Bunny. I could even see this third movie ending like the game, with the pizzeria burning down. It could happen at the very end of the movie, I could see it happening. And then, to tease the next movie, the post-credits could be that William survived. Because remember, he survived this event too in the games. The credits play, everyone thinks we have a nice little happy ending, William's gone, but boom! The guy's alive! Oh no! Ah! Zoinks! How would the movie play out before the ending? I'm not sure. Here's what I think though. Mike and Abby somehow go back to the pizzeria. Maybe Mike wanted to go back to check on what Golden Freddy meant at the end of the movie. Remember Golden Freddy was telling Mike that, they can't contain him once they're gone. Mike was a little confused, so maybe he might go back to the pizzeria and check that out. Abby might somehow follow him because Mike really doesn't pay attention. He's always sleeping. Wake up, man, please. In the pizzeria, they meet up SpringTrap and they just have to put a stop to him. Vanessa/Charlotte also might show up because they both have a vendetta against William. Of course they'd want to stop him too. Maybe after they stop him, Charlotte's soul can be put to rest. Maybe Charlotte's soul stays back to be put to rest like the other animatronics were put to rest in this movie. Ooh, come back in a couple years, see if I got the movie plot right. And if I'm right, you gotta subscribe, you gotta send a donation in the comments, you gotta praise me, you gotta do all that, yes you do. Yes, this is my next theory, and yes, we're gonna talk about it. It's no secret that these movies aren't perfect. I still enjoy them, but I also have a little child brain and like bright colors and funny hard. Thinking critically though, these movies have a lot of problems, and I do truly want them to lock in for this next movie and make something real special. To me, the movies have this problem of being very campy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. but I feel like it's too campy. It kind of boils down the whole experience. Let's start with the opening, for example. I really liked the opening. It was so good. It was the right amount of scary too, and the shot of the puppet holding up Charlotte was actually so sick. But this is also the same movie that has Freddy Fazbear having a walkout in the town, or having one of the major antagonists of this movie be a rude and annoying teacher instead of the child killer who barely appears in this movie. He's supposed to be the major bad guy of the franchise. This movie was made to be campy. I still enjoyed it though, but I want the next movie to be more scary. Fnaf 3 has a perfect aesthetic. It's very scary. It's very, I don't know, I just like the aesthetic of it, and I guess I kind of want the next movie's tone to match that. I want to be scared. I want this next movie to be more scary. Give me a more serious tone, maybe have the stakes be higher. I think an advantage the games have is that they're very subtle with their storytelling. The original games. And the movies, they don't have the luxury of being subtle, you know, they're movies, they gotta be in your face a little more. So maybe we could have some other writers involved in the team as well, not just Scott Cawthon. I think the next movie could appease both fans like me and critics, as long as they listen to the criticisms people have, instead of just saying, it's for the fans guys, the movie wasn't made for critics guys. It's nice that you want to pander to the fans, I respect it. But hey, it's not a bad thing to listen to what critics have to say and improve the next movie from their feedback. Don't just listen to the fans, you know, hear what everyone has to say. Or don't do that and just make the next movie a superhero movie like they did with Megan, you know, Blumhouse Studios. Please don't do that.